everybody. Hi, I'm Louise Winchester, the spiritual business mentor, the founder of Sacred Space, and this is Helen Dunne, the
Hello.
the salon mentor, and we've kind of teamed up together to start doing some broadcasts like I was before, talking about everything spiritual, metaphysical, and ascension. And please leave us like a thumbs up or a send us a message in the chat. We're sort of trialing this software out. We tried earlier and Helen was having some technical issues. So we're going to be talking today about Ascension Cycles and what that means to me and what that means to Helen and our interpretation of it. So I'm going to dive straight in and just start talking about ascension. So ascension is a word which is to describe energy at a collective consciousness level. So we've all heard of the word ascension nowadays, but actually what it is, it's a frequency shift that we have to keep integrating into our physical body. And a very common way to understand this is in order to go up to the next level with our energy, we have to go down to come up in frequency. So quite a lot of the time, the energy will actually dig something up inside of us for us to bring up into awareness to work on. So today I just really wanted to talk about remembering what it's like to have triggers or things that actually are happening in your reality and what to do when you are triggered, and a little bit about the support that one can get around that, and some tips and tricks about how to actually help that sort of thing for yourself. So when was Helen, could you talk about when you first became aware of the ascension energy and the ascension process that was happening? When was your initial awakening?
Look, I've been, on my spiritual journey really pretty much all my life. I woke, as they say. No, it's quite funny, isn't it? When I was in my early 20s, and then I kind of like, adopted all the laws of attraction and all those kind of things, always knowing that ascension was about developing as a spirit, spiritually, but thinking, oh gosh, I've got a life to live as well, and so I kind of parked it a little bit. But recently, in the last couple of years, I've really felt my soul like saying it's time. It's time to come back. And so yeah,
that's more mastery of like holding other people through the ascension process than like there's different levels of living and breathing the ascension process, and not everybody has it in their contract to be a spiritual teacher or hold spiritual space for people. So that's what you were coming back to, rather than like spiritual practices. So
and I've always held those the belief about a unified approach to get togetherness, that sort of thing, like being one with everything I've done, really. But just sort of like being aware of that it's time to put more work into that has just been really lately, I suppose, that you just can't turn a blind eye to it. For me, I can't anyway.
So you said a key word in there, which was one. So oneness is a mindfulness like practice that comes from Buddhism, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about that because that was like beaconing out at me to say talk about oneness. So what is actually oneness, and how is that connected to ascension? So oneness is basically how I would describe it, is that when we are triggered by a situation and it impacts us at a physical level, and we can feel the energy, where we feel like this we feel a wound, or we feel yuck, that doesn't feel very good in my energy field, or whatever it is that we've like absorbed into our field somehow, is actually a weakness in the energy field. Okay. A oneness is all about raising your consciousness up above the issue and trying to pull yourself out of the 3D, like, sorry, I'm just itching, raising your consciousness up out of a 3D perspective and trying to find out what it is that's actually needing to be recalibrated or unified in your own energy field. And so oneness is actually the shift energetically from negative to positive polarity, and a recoding of your toroidal field. So I'll just explain a tiny bit about toroidal energy. So as we look at the planet, which is behind me, the planet has a magnetic poles of positive and negative, north and south energy, where it basically goes around in a loop in opposite directions. So you've got a positive and a negative, and our fields also have the same thing. So, and then it's going around in these rings. So a lot of people know who Nikola Tesla is, and Nikola Tesla was the first one to generate free energy until it was shut down because they can't make a profit out of it. But our energy fields are exactly the same. So in the same way as our earth is shifting in frequency, the energy that's running through the earth is changing, and so is our physical energy within our own field. And my firm belief is that the planetary alignments are like the puppet master, where it's pulling the strings and we're down below, and everything that's happening up above is then impacting our field down below. So some of the time we're being impacted by what I classify as these cycles which come through, where the energy comes in on a wave into the planet, it comes through the physical body, it finds where the weaknesses are, and you have to go dive down into yourself in order to recalibrate your own quantum field, which is something that I've passionately been talking about and passionately been working on myself for an eon of time now. I've been working with my own energy for 30 years, I think now, in these Ascension Cycles. And I'm just going to possibly, did you want to add any more to that about what, before we go into how the energy actually goes through the purification process up through the chakra system?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just relating to that, that feel like that oneness, is that we've actually forgotten that we are one, that we are divine, and that is our journey to live and remember that as we go through the ascension process, and that sort of disconnection when we feel like we're less than that, and that's where we need to kind of like remember that we are one, that we are connected to divine source, and that we are pure beings, which is all part of our journey of being here. Yes, well, I hope I didn't take you off where you were going, but
very fundamental part of that is actually also, it doesn't matter where you are on your ascension path, it depends how deeply you've been triggered. We can all ping back off into like a layer of density inside of ourselves where we feel completely hopeless, and we feel like there's no point in being here, and we feel we've lost our purpose. And it is very easy to be triggered to flip over into what I classify it as what I call it as a sinkhole in our energy field, where we actually need we can't unify it ourselves, and we need support to actually do that, and someone to help facilitate that, which we will go into a little bit more detail in a minute. So for humanity, I do believe, yes, we are all in a process of working our consciousnesses into like a push-pull of recalibration of density to light, density to light, density to light. So it just depends on what level of responsibilities you hold within your own conscious connection to source, and what you're really here to do. In the last few days, I've been writing a piece which is like a map of your, I've actually been working with an incredible cosmic being this week, which has been fascinating. And it came through on Monday, and it was a blue celestial being. It was absolutely magnificent. It had all blue to its face, and it had these incredible diamond-shaped mirrors across its cheeks. It was quite incredible to see. And this being came forward to help me to re-engineer my own energy field, as well as bring through the information, because it's like one of the architects of soul contract in this incarnation. So it's like a gatekeeper to your blueprint. And I've been writing this week about understanding like the let's just say the word doorways that move the aspects of your soul's blueprint. It's like this word unlocks this section, and this word unlocks that section, and it's all kind of interwoven, and it makes up your spiritual mastery in this incarnation and what you're here to do. So quite fascinating for me. I always get absolutely blown away by whatever I'm processing energetically, and this week was a very big week. I don't know if there's anybody, let's just check in if there's anybody that is actually has sent us any messages that might be on this call. I'm just gonna have a look. I've got a bit of stuff going on in the background right now, quite distracting. 444. It's 444.
Oh,
They're my numbers. I'm a 144 code. Just make sure that we are actually still live.
I think we are.
Any comments coming up? Well, my internet's very slow right this second. We're just checking in. If anybody can give us, if they are watching, a thumbs up or a no.
Give us some love. Yeah.
Give some love.
Any questions?
Yeah, I was just checking, only because we haven't seen anybody come through the chat, and hopefully this chat is interesting to people, because it's what fascinates me over the years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Ascension Cycles now, or what I sense and perceive as an energetic cycle, and what the energy actually does. So the energy comes down into the planet. Sometimes it comes down like a big boost of light into your energy field, which can be fantastic. It's usually when you get your massive breakthroughs. But if it doesn't and it comes down, that's all right. If it doesn't and it comes down into the planet and then comes back up through your physical field, quite often it can come up with stuff that's actually to be transcended out of the earth grid, out of the collective consciousness. And so our bodies are often used as purification vessels for actually transmuting energy. Transmuting energy, not just for our own stuff. Some people quite often would come to me, and I'd have conversations with them about what's in their soul contract to actually shift at a grid level through their physical bodies. And so Ascension Cycles, I find that the energy is constantly, you are constantly upgrading your field, and it goes through a chakra point. And depending upon whether you've actually done any work in that chakra that, you know, before, can make a profound difference. So when you first get into learning how to channel energy, or starting to become aware of, like, you know, being impacted in a chakra, and it's the first time you've ever been impacted, we go through a process in the early stages of coming out of the dimensional consciousness, and the energy will work its way up through the base chakra, into the sacral chakra, into the solar plexus, into the heart chakra. And usually people that are transcending consciousness in the lower chakras, they're just learning how to really access who they are again. And obviously there's different waves of this, but even when we go through working through these chakras, what happens is the physical body will go through a reboot of the whole plane, and then it will start to come back through again. So it doesn't matter how many times your physical being has been through upgrades in the physical, it will gradually keep stepping up through each chakra, and then it will repeat the process and come back around again. And do you have anything to add about that?
Well, there's always a layer, isn't there? That's the thing.
Yes.
Like you said, it will repeat the process and do it all over again.
Yeah, and sometimes repeat the process at an even deeper level than you've ever gone before.
Yeah.
And
for various lifetimes too. Like if you're aware of other lifetimes and other energy that you've brought into this lifetime from that other lifetime, like that you can you can transmute, then you get that as well. You get to do that as well.
Yeah. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about how to actually unify your energy field. So the idea is we're trying to go from a negative energy to a positive energy. So when we actually, and Helen's going to give us her view on this, and I'm also going to tell you guys about a meditation that I've got that you can use. But if you can't get up out of the energy of what you've got going on, then it's good to use a practitioner to help you to transcend that. So I have found that every single time there is some sort of energy that I can feel, where I feel impacted in my physical being, that it goes down into an emotion. So there's you can sense in your own energy that this relates to a specific emotion. And I did some training a few years ago with a pretty awesome guy that is Aboriginal, and he has a sheet which has 160 different emotions to the sheet. So that just shows you how many different, like, energy signatures that we can dial into that are directly connected to some form of wounding in our quantum energy field. So when you can tune in with your mind into the place wherever you're holding that energy, and go into the emotion, and then ask the emotion to show you what the event is, or show you what the suffering is, and go back through into it, and almost like try and have a conversation with it, and then switch it over to a completely different type of event where it's a more positive situation or scenario. And that's actually quite hard to do if you don't have something to follow in order to do that. And even when you're adept at doing stuff, it's easier to actually follow something that guides you into the energy and helps you, like it holds you and containerizes you, because otherwise you can ping off on a tangent a little bit as you're trying to recalibrate this energy inside of yourself. So did you want to share what it is that you actually do yourself?
Well, that's what I do, is what you just explained, is I will just sit with the feeling. My kinesiologist told me ages ago that, we aren't our feelings. Our soul is actually our beautiful, peaceful self that we are, and we need to get or to feel that again, but just observe, be the observer of the feelings, and like you said, then just tap in and draw on exactly what that is, what that emotion is, and where, and ask yourself, your soul, where that came from, because it will take you back to a memory or something where you adopted that thought process or that attack on yourself or that belief about yourself. So exactly what you said, that type of therapy, as far as, yeah, just trying to dig out where that thought process originally came from. Another technique that I might do, that if I'm kind of, if it's more immediate, but if you know, if I've been wound up over something that I've like, I work with young people, so I kind of, you know, get thrown a lot of different emotions, so I'll come home and I'll just feel like I've got a bit of baggage on me, and I might just actually just do a technique that they call blowing roses, and I'll just get quiet. Imagine I'm picking a rose from the front garden and it's sitting in front of me, and I'm just breathing the energy from wherever it is in my body, whether it's in my head, my heart, or my stomach. I'm breathing it out, let the rose close up, take it right out of my house so that it's not in anywhere in my field, and just blow it up into fireworks and send it back out into the universe. So that's just a bit more of a short-term fix for me.
That's a nice one. I've not heard of that before.
Yeah, I think it's actually a Palladium technique. So from one of my old books.
Yeah, I think actually now when I think about it, it's about 20 years ago I saw something like that.
Yeah.
And it's in the Palladium workbook, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I've got that book. Do you want me? Actually, just put it away. Hang on. Here we go.
Yay! Got it right.
It's got beautiful techniques in here, really.
You mentioned the word Palladium, and then I went, oh yeah. That's
and I've done, yeah, and
that book actually, do you want to hold it up so people can see it? Amora Kuan Yin. So
yes.
Palladium workbook, Amora Kuan Yin. That is one of the only books that there is talking about the different stages of the ascension process through the human being.
Yeah, and that's probably why I parked spirituality on the shelf for a little bit, because I got to this book and it was like, oh gosh, that's hard work.
So seeing as you've actually got a copy of that, let's open that up.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a section in the middle of it, which is all about anchoring the divine car.
Yeah.
And it goes through the different stages of ascension. Do you think you could find it and read it out? Because it is a brilliant piece of work.
Car activation. Hang on. I'll just let me do the right thing and go through the index. That'll be the fastest way to find it, won't it?
It's totally unscripted here.
Yes, it is. Pairing. Where are we? Car activation meeting, clearing, opening your car.
No, it's the levels.
Ascension, chapter 9, Chambers of Light. Chambers of Light. So
it's in the middle, and if you flick through the middle section, it's going to give you about 10 stages to the ascension process.
Oh, like here? Number 1?
Yep.
Okay.
Can we just go right to the end of it, and can you tell me what number the top one is?
All right. Number 1's identify purpose, initiate.
Yeah.
2 is polarity, understanding of challenge.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to get you to do now, because this is totally unscripted, and obviously the universe would like us to, this is what was coming in for me that I needed to talk about today, was Ascension Cycles, and somehow we've landed with exactly the book. So I would like you to read now, if you can, each of the Ascension Cycles of activation. And just for anybody who's viewing, I'd like you to take note of where you're up to, or make a decision like, I'm at level 2, or I'm at level 6, or I'm at level 7 or 8, or whatever. And if you actually watch this and you manage to absorb this bit of transcript from us, I'd like you to post and let us know where you've actually reached on your journey of the ascension process, because that's quite interesting. So
okay, so number one, the general function is to identify purpose and initiate. So you recognize your longing for unity with the higher self and God, Goddess, all that is, followed by initiation of action through which it may come about invocation, receptivity, and commitment to the goal occur. You initiate your first car session. 2 is polarity, understanding of challenge, recognition of need for beginning action to create balance in your internal and external male-female polarity take place. You clear issues and emotions relative to the illusion of separation, conflict, and duality. Initiation of harmony occurs through the car, although the car is still breaking the ego through resistance. 3, rhythmic flow. A new level of allowing takes place as your ego gives way to your divine. That was quick. 4, a new level of allowing takes place as your ego gives way to your divine intent. Car energy flows more smoothly and continually. 4, measure and define. Lessons of discernment and ability to maintain focus with disciplined determination are learned. You are tested to measure your spiritual dedication to your goal of ascension and oneness. Christ has said that the spiritual question for this activation is, what is worth not loving at this moment? Your priorities are re-evaluated, and as you choose correctly, the car breaks through in a more permanent and forceful manner. 5, centeredness, divine power. Ego and past identities are shed as you accept your true identity without denying your humanness. Your car energy begins to heal your nervous system more deeply as a result of your letting go and acceptance. A new maturity and quiet wisdom ensure. 6 is balance. Commitment to experiencing life fully on all levels creates equilibrium and freedom from resistance to feeling deeply. Your experience of your higher self being continually connected to your body begins. Your Ka and Kundalini flow synchronistically, continually and harmoniously. Cellular clearing is accelerated. 7, channel higher dimensional energies. Soul healing and renewal are accentuated. You begin to remember your true origins and myth. Ka star linking triggers more access to multidimensional realities. You understand and forgive yourself more deeply now. 8, harmonic resonance. Self-love and unconditional love for others are your reality. Blame is no longer possible. Compassion deepens without pity, and you actualize detachment. Core issues are unveiled. You feel yourself being impulsed harmonically by yourself as one of your own creator. It is the sound of one voice in love. Ka resonance beyond time and space creates more instantaneous remembrance of your own divine truth. 9, realization. Completion of all karma and negative pattern breaking occur. You do from a place of being. You stop efforting and trying and simply realize that you are which you seek. You accept the responsibility of being a self-mastered being now. Your Ka channels and flow are self-sustaining. You are deeply committed to fulfilling your own highest destiny, which is your service to all that is. 10, manifestation of goal. You and your higher self become fully merged in your human body. All remaining beliefs in limitation are cleared. Your car body, Kundalini, and higher self Kundalini are synchronized, continual and harmonic. You are recognized by others who are willing to see as your true self, and you are fully living your higher purpose. 11. Dissolution and absolution. All that is non-essential dissolves. Total surrender to your own enlightenment occurs as any remaining resistance is released. All goals and remaining attachments are examined and released, if not in divine will. Your car is merged cellularly, and you are becoming lighter and lighter. Your body is activated. 12 is universal. Your autonomy relinquishes all control of the divine will of the higher collective consciousness. Service is absolute, automatic, and your only desire. Your car has completed its links to the stars and galaxies and come full circle to connect with God, Goddess, all that is, and the Christed future selves of all beings at lower levels than yourself. And then 13 is transcendence. You have attained to Christ consciousness and can ascend at will.
It's a beautiful piece. It
It
really
is.
I remember the first time that I actually read that, and I was sitting on the beach in Manly where I used to live, and I remember actually sort of tracking and pinpointing where I was on my own ascension process. And that was before I set up Sacred Space, because I've always been obsessed with metaphysics and spirituality and channeling. I've been channeling for 30 years. But it is actually a brilliant piece that I haven't seen anybody else do or talk about. And I just want to interject with my own personal experiences around that, because I feel that I have come full circle through those layers, and I do have those sorts of levels of connection, but it doesn't exonerate your energy field from having, just because you've achieved like access into higher dimensions and higher states of consciousness, and taking your consciousness out cosmic level, and as well at an ultra terrestrial level, being able to move and slide between dimensions. It does not stop there, because sometimes we still have to come back into the physical and transmute energy, like I was transmuting energy in the solar plexus this week, in order to come up to another level. It's just cycles upon cycles upon cycles, and everything is repeating through time. And I think in the collective consciousness of humanity right now, we're still in very early days of I would classify this as the second phase of awakening at a global level, where people are really the veil is starting to lift. But it still amazes me how many people are like brainwashed or programmed into actually not reclaiming their power and not being who they truly are, and just going like, we were talking earlier today about, what's important to one person to have their fun in life is more important to them than anything. And yet that's not how I live my life, or you live your life. Our lives are aligned with serving others and helping others, because that's what is innate in us. So I think a lot of people will be pushed more out of selfishness or self-centered energies, where they've been able to get away with whatever they want to get away with, into energy which is more about how they help and serve everybody else around them.
For sure.
It's a beautiful piece, that book.
It is. I kind of I get it off the shelf, I get a few things, and then I put it back and think and then I pick up another book, but it's always, it's pretty, for me, it's pretty well thumbed through. It's a good book.
So hopefully we've sort of explained what Ascension cycles actually are. I'll just talk about a couple of things. So if anybody wants to go to my website, I have got a meditation that I've put together called Rewiring Your Thoughts and Changing Your Reality. It's in the blog section, or you can find it in the blog archive of louisewinchester.com. And if anybody is experiencing energy which is too intense for them to actually get through or get to the other side of, then you can always contact me, because I have two specialists, quantum kinetics kinesiologists, that actually work on reprogramming your energy field or the timelines in your energy field in order to transcend the problem that you're experiencing in your energy field. So that's always really useful if I use my people regularly just to support and help facilitate me through the next level. And I just wanted to drop into the end of this conversation that I have updated the global group, so we're going to be talking more often. Helen and I are going to try to do one of these every week. So if you have questions of a metaphysical, esoteric nature, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a chat, comment, and we'll try and integrate that into any of the discussions that we have. And what else? Okay, so Sacred Space, the store, currently is still closed. We are still doing bookings and appointments via video, and if somebody wants something from the store, they can make an appointment to meet with me. I've been very busy writing a book called Monetize Your Magic, which is also available on louisewinchester.com. And I am training people in Quantum Leap nowadays. So that is a transformation program for people setting up or up-leveling a spiritual business. And I have a new group that is coming through on the 26th of August. So I will leave some comments in the bio, as they call it, where if you want to connect with any of these things. And Helen is furiously working on a training program for the next generation of people in the salon and beauty industry. She's working on transforming their lives so that they can be a new breed of entrepreneurs, like I am doing at the moment, working with people in the spiritual industry.
Yeah.
So if you are interested ever in training with Helen, I'm sure you could send us a link in the comments section and make a connection with her, and she'd be quite happy to connect with you as well. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Please leave us any comments on what you found interesting today, and we will be back probably next Thursday next week to talk about some other interesting, fascinating, metaphysical, universal and spiritual topic. Hooray! Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good week. Bye.